Yes, well, Salah's leaving. Salah is leaving Liverpool. So now I think the conversation is, we've moved past that now. Everybody's, had their say, in terms of was it the right time, lauding all of his, achievements that he's obviously achieved here at Liverpool, the trophies he's won, the individual trophies that he's obviously won. I've seen all the battles on Twitter in regards to, how big of a legend is he, where does he go down in his Premier League legacy and stuff like that. Listen, I think with those kind of conversations, it's always opinion based. I don't think there's any factual thing about those kind of conversations. I think it's all down to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you think this person is the greatest Premier League player, then you're going to think that. If you think Mo Salah is, you're more than happy, or you're more than welcome, should I say, to think that. If you believe that, he's the best winger, I've seen someone say, in terms of in history, well, in recent history, should we say, other than Lionel Messi, Mohamed Salah is the best right winger in I think in modern history, to be honest with you. So, which I found kind of interesting because I know a lot of people would definitely disagree with that, and there's a lot of other players, the Bales, the Robins of this world. But again, listen, I'm not really even here for that. Maybe we'll speak about that another day. But today we're going to be looking at like a Salah replacement. So, I spoke on Enz's show the other day in regards to a Salah replacement who could potentially come in for someone like him. Now, obviously, Liverpool have already got Ekitike and Isak currently in the team. Obviously, we know this season for Liverpool has been really, really poor. In terms of Isak, obviously barely played. He's been injured. Ekitike, he's been okay. I believe this season definitely done better than I thought he would have done. Definitely exceeded my own expectations for him. But again, listen, he's still young. He's still got a bit of work. He's not really, obviously, he's not at the top level of his own game. So maybe that will come in the future. But yeah, right now, those are the two attackers that we can say. Now, whether that means that Liverpool are going to move to a different system next season, hopefully under a new manager. But let's just say, regardless of a new manager or an old manager, maybe Liverpool might move to a two up front. If not, then we're going to have obviously just the one up front. Does that then change the focus in regards to the type of winger that you get? Has football changed? Again, maybe a video for another day, but has the onus on wingers, is that now different? Are we now seeing a different type of winger? We're not, I mean, like I say, gone are the days, Mohamed Salah, the Sadio Manes, the people of that kind of ilk. Even, I'd even say, even when, Arsenal had, obviously they got Martinelli, they got Saka, but even when they had like the Aubameyangs, the Lacazettes, and whatnot, like, and Pepe, should I say, even when I looked at that, you look at Manchester City, the Sane, Sterling's, Aguero's, like when these teams have had this, even in the past, Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, although that's like a weird three, to be honest, because none of them, other than maybe Ronaldo, are actually wingers. When you look at it, it seems like we are almost transitioning away from the onus on wingers scoring goals or scoring a high volume of goals. We've almost reverted back to this. Okay, we need our striker to score goals, which I love, by the way. Like I've always loved the fact that you're a striker. I need you to score the crux of my goals. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like I need you to have the most kind of goals in the team because otherwise I'm almost like, why are you there? We've kind of finished with the Firmino thing where, you got like this false nine and he drops in, and then you got your two inside forwards and they play. Yeah, we're done with that now. Do you know what I mean? I think we do need to, well, I think it's going to move on, but I would like for it to move on anyway, back to just strikers, scoring goals and, getting the wingers to get the assists. So now we're looking at it. I mean, you look at PSG again, a bit more fluid. You got the Kvaratskhelia, Dembele's, Doué's, Barcola's, they're all kind of interchange and playing every kind of which position. So maybe they might be a bit unique. You look at Barcelona, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski. Again, Lewandowski's still getting a large amount of their goals anyway, but you still got Rafinha and Lamine Yamal obviously scoring, their goals. I mean, look at Bayern Munich. Obviously, we'll take a look at one of their players, but Harry Kane, Luis Diaz, Michael Olise, obviously Jamal Musiala's coming back. So, yeah, but again, obviously Harry Kane is going to get a large share of those goals. Olise and Diaz will obviously score their fair amount of goals, but they'll be looking at the assist for someone like Harry Kane. Just trying to think off the top of my head in terms of teams. And I mean, Manchester United kind of got a Sesko and Buemo, Cunha kind of thing going on. Chelsea, I guess Pedro Neto, maybe Cole Palmer, striker wise, Ja Pedro. So again, João Pedro would get the most of their goals. Arsenal, Saka's not really been that good this season, but again, I'm looking at him thinking, and again, look, like I said, maybe a conversation for another day. I don't need to ramble on about it, but you can kind of see it's almost like we are reverting back to that. And now looking at Liverpool specifically, with Salah obviously leaving at the end of the season, we all knew this. It probably should have come at the end of last season, leave on a high, banging season, win the Premier League, sail off into the sunset, do whatever it is you need to do, but he's leaving now. So that obviously begs the question as to, so what do Liverpool do now? Do you know what I mean? Like, and when I say what do we do, just in case people get that misinterpreted or don't really understand what I'm trying to say, it's not about replacing Salah like, well, we couldn't replace him. I feel like we could. I feel like there's many a player that you could just easily replace him with. And what I mean by that is just because this version of Salah, and I think that's actually very, very important. I think either Enz or Savage have mentioned this before. You're replacing this version of Salah. That's not that hard to do. Poor, legs have run out, not really that great, all of that kind of stuff, right? But that's this version of Salah. I know in Liverpool fans' mind, I know exactly where they're going to be at this summer. They're thinking of prime Salah. When we're talking about replacements, they're going to be thinking prime Salah. We need to replace that, not understanding that it's not prime Salah you're replacing. You're replacing this version of Salah, which shouldn't be too difficult to do. I don't think that in itself is a tough job to actually do. What's going to happen, as I mentioned, is we're going to be comparing him. And I spoke on Enzo's show about obviously Olise, one of my favorite players in world football. But I know what's going to happen. His kind of nonchalant behavior and all this kind of stuff, and we'll talk about that in a minute. All of that kind of stuff is going to kind of kick in, and yeah, I don't know I don't know how that I don't know how Liverpool fans will take to someone like like an Olise. But listen, we'll wait and see. So me, I don't really know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't. I'm on the kind of mindset of, if that's the Liverpool manager on the slot, yeah, I don't really care. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't actually matter as to who you sign. I don't feel like it makes that much difference, to be honest with you. If he's still the current Liverpool manager going into next season, I think any player that comes in will look as good as they do, or look as bad as they do. I don't think it's going to be like, oh my goodness, we signed this guy, damn, kind of thing. But ultimately, we do need to look at what kind of players are out there. So I didn't even know. I'm going to be honest with you. If you guys can list 5 right wingers who you think are just good, that you would want your team, you'd want Liverpool to, or even just your team, Arsenal, Man City, whoever, that you'd want to sign, let me know in the comment section, because that was actually something that even I'm struggling with, at this current moment in time. So obviously, let's take a look. Let's take a look here. So I just typed in best right wingers. This I think this was from the, let's take a look. When was this one? So this is from the July 31st. So this is from last year. I don't think they have a recent one. This is obviously on FootMob. So they've just put the 25 best right wingers. Yeah, specifically right. We'll take a look at left another time, but looking specifically at the right wingers. These are the right wingers that they put there. There's probably going to be some that forget more so the positions, so to speak. I'm not saying don't look at them, but don't take too much. What's the word I'm looking for? Don't read into it. Sorry, don't read into it too much. The positions of these guys. Just, I'm more showing you this purely because of the names that are out there, so that we can kind of just take a look and see, like, oh, so these are the type of players that are right wingers. Obviously, because ultimately you just need someone to come in to replace Salah. And as Dean said on Enzo's show the other day, it's not even just about replacing Salah. Remember, you need to get someone to replace Salah, let's just say, but then you also need another guy to be a backup to that as well. How that works, I don't really know. Like I said, this is just me thinking maybe Liverpool play, I feel like a 4-2-3-1. I think they're going to continue to play that. I don't think it's going to move to a 2. So you got Inaki Williams. Is that someone you guys are signed? No, I don't think so. You got Anthony. No. Ndiaye, I would definitely sign him. I think he's a really, really good player, but he's at Everton, so I don't think that's going to happen. Trincao, yeah, he's okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's all right, kind of thing. But again, I don't think I'd sign him. Sane is there. Jared Bowen, I know Jerry likes Jared Bowen quite a lot, but again, I wouldn't sign him. Don't know what he would do actually when it comes to if West Ham get relegated. Would he stay? Would he go? But you know what? Actually, thinking about it, let me go back to Jared Bowen. Maybe thinking about it, if you sign someone else, you maybe could get a Jared Bowen, because I'm gonna assume the price isn't gonna be crazy for someone like I don't know, but you know what? Maybe thinking about it, if either Jared Bowen and obviously got funny enough, you got Kudus. Obviously, both teams look like one of them potentially could get relegated. Who knows? Maybe even both get relegated. Yeah, I doubt it, but I think one of the two would get relegated. Yeah, maybe you're looking at like a cut price deal. If it's like cut price, obviously context, then yeah, I'm kind of all about that. Then I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, why would you spend crazy amounts of money when you could get this kind of player of this level? And I know the other day we spoke about set one, set twos, but the reality is Liverpool are in a position right now where I don't know if they can get the set one guy. Do you get what I'm saying? So if they can't, then they're gonna really need to start looking at the set two, threes, and fours kind of thing to kind of see. But yeah, Kudus is definitely an option. Yeremy Pino, he's a player I really, really like, but I think he would actually move, even though he just moved to Palace. Maybe if Liverpool were to bid for him, but don't know if he's going to be the kind of guy that Liverpool fans would want. But again, price and stuff like that. Akluche, don't know too much about him, to be honest with you, so I'm not going to speak on him. Savinho, someone like him, again, it would have to be like a mad cheap price in order for me to think about that. Mastantuano, obviously, no, he definitely ain't coming. Simeone, they got here. Atletico Madrid, again, don't know too much about him to know whether or not I'd want to sign him. So I'm going to lie. Diallo, obviously not. Madueke, obviously not. Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto, there was once upon a time you would have wanted to sign him. He's now at Chelsea. Don't know what that fee would even look like. So I'm going to say no. Rodrigo, again, an interesting one. I know obviously he's just had that injury as well. So yeah, that's a bit of an interesting one. Esteval, obviously, no, wouldn't come. Pulisic, I mean, there was once upon a time, again, you would have wanted to sign a Pulisic. And Buemo, obviously, no. Messi, obviously, no. I mean, God, imagine getting Lionel. Listen, if Liverpool, like, just for a little piece, just for a little bit, just for a season, I would love, like, for one season, if Liverpool ever sign, you will see me get a Lionel Messi shirt. I'm saying it here right now. You guys would see me buy a Lionel Messi shirt 100%. 100%. I'd have to. I would have to. Like Lionel Messi, what, my favorite player of all time. You don't think that I wouldn't? These times I don't even buy Liverpool like stuff, and you don't think I would? I wouldn't, bro. Trust me when I tell you, I would 100% go out and go and get a Lionel Messi shirt if he were to ever, sign for Liverpool. But listen, we'll obviously wait for that. Obviously, Mohamed Salah's there. Doué, I would love to sign a Doué. I think he's a really, really top player. Can play multiple positions as well. Technically sound, and he seems to be quite proficient in most positions that he actually plays. So I'm almost like, he might be I say utility, but he might be a guy that you can play anywhere across the front line, and it's not really gonna change up what's gonna kind of happen. So definitely a player I would love to sign, but I don't see that happening. Obviously Saka, and then obviously Olise's here, and then you got Lamine Yamal. Obviously Olise is going to be the main one that I know quite a lot of you are going to want Liverpool to obviously sign. I think another name out there I would probably throw is Diamonde from RB Leipzig. Again, I've not taken too much of a look at him. I'll be super honest with you. He's not really a player that I've spent too much time just trying to kind of like figure out as to, is he good enough? Is he that? Again, you know me, I will do some research in regards to him, but yeah, he's just not someone I've really taken a look at this moment in time. But it will be interesting. It will be very, very interesting to see as to who. I would love to know, again, in the comment section, and we're going to do a little comparison anyway, just of players. We'll take a look at a few players that have obviously just been linked and mentioned and all that kind of stuff in regards to Liverpool. But again, in the comment section, please let me know, give me like a top 3 list that you'd love for Liverpool to kind of sign, right? It could be starter, backup player, and then alternatives, however you want to kind of view it. Let me know in the comment section, and then yeah, we can obviously just chop it up. All right, so obviously looking at this, right, and I promise you guys, I struggled. Like I said, you guys are gonna have to give me a list of names and stuff like that, because I really did struggle in terms of just trying to find players who even just played on the right wing. Like I was actually like, right, who actually plays? Right, I feel like left wing I can think, but right wing always seems difficult. And I'm not even, like I said, it's not even about finding someone to replace some prime stuff. No, I'm just talking about who's a good right winger. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just threw these names in there. Barcola, Diamondi, even those two, I feel like they can just play left and right. So again, it's just one of those. I threw in Kudus because I actually couldn't think of anybody else. There again, you guys might have a different player that you would want to kind of see their own stats and stuff like that. But listen, for now, these are the ones that I've obviously gone for, man. So obviously Elise, Diamonde, Barcola, Conceição, Juventus, and Kudus. Conceição I've always had like a look at for time, but you know, one of them players where you're just like, yeah, but you keep an eye out for, but I don't really know. But I guess now I really do have to try and figure out as to who that might potentially be. So obviously this is per 90. I'll do total in a minute. So yeah, I put out quite a few. I feel like stats that are, I guess, relatively important. I guess. I might take out Elise slyly because I feel like that one's kind of like an obvious one, and I feel like he would. You know, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take out Elise. I do feel like it's a little bit unfair if I put Elise in there. I don't know who else is gonna go in there, so I'm actually just gonna leave that one blank. Let's just look at the rest of these guys. So who's really doing stuff? So goals is obviously Barcola. Shots on target is Barcola 1.8. You can see here the next one after that is Diamonde. Goals from inside the box again is Barcola, but Diamonde is right behind. I mean, Conceição and who's that? Kudus, yeah. I mean, both teams have not been that good this season, especially Spurs. So that's understandable. Conversion rate, pretty good. You can see Diamonde is at 32.26, better than everyone else, better than the next best, which is obviously Barcola, and then Conceição. No, sorry, and then Kudus, and then Conceição. Open play passes completed, chances created. That's one I looked at. So 2.2. Again, Diamonde is 2.1. Kudus and Conceição are quite low in that regards. What else is there? Crosses, obviously, Kudus puts in a lot of cross. I mean, 7.2 he attempts per game. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he only completes 1.7, but that's still better than everybody else. So you can see his crossing accuracy is really, really good, but he puts in 7.2. That's a lot of crosses. Is that something that you feel that, I mean, Liverpool maybe need to move towards? Maybe Liverpool need to make it a bit more basic. Do you get what I'm saying? A bit more basic in terms of their play. I mean, quite a lot of the players are quite basic, so it would make sense. What else is there? Touches in opposition box. You can see here, I mean, Barcola has a lot of touches in opposition boxes. Kudus hardly ever. But yeah, 9.2 is quite a lot. Ball recoveries, that makes sense considering Spurs are a bit rubbish. Take-ons, I guess this is something that everybody kind of looks at. Take-ons over run, 0.6 from Diamonde. Take-ons completed, 4.2, which still dwarfs everybody else. So his take-on success lands at 58%. Yeah, like this is okay. Like, let me look at total. Maybe it might look a bit different. I'm just, Diamonde obviously has got more assists, he creates more chances, which is really good. 42 passes attempted. I'm trying to be fair here, guys. Passes attempted. Yeah, shot accuracy 70. I mean, like, this is okay, I guess. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, as in, yeah, this is okay, I guess. Like, this is okay. Like, if I'm trying to be fair, this is okay. Like, yeah, if this is something that you guys feel is like, oh, okay, like, like, okay, fairs. Like, I don't know. I like, honestly, I'm actually really struggling to just. I'm trying to be honest, and if I'm being honest, this is all just meaty to me. Like, as in, I don't look at none of this stuff and think, if I just even forget Liverpool for a sec, if you're just a top club and your best attacker of the last however many years, and now obviously you're replacing this version of that attacker, but you know what it means to bring in, obviously, you know, an attacker anyway, just because you understand that, oh, right, we need to bring in someone of some level of quality. So obviously, when you're talking about, yeah, I need to bring in an attacker, like, this is why I asked at the beginning, is it a case of you just feel that maybe Liverpool potentially could go over to, I don't think they will, but could that just be an option because you already have Isak? So maybe the goals now have to just, obviously, as I mentioned before, the goals are going to start coming from, I feel, from the strikers anyway. So maybe now that kind of onus, that shift into, now you're starting to just use your wingers as just kind of like how we used them before, where they weren't getting crazy numbers. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, obviously, Ronaldo's and that and Messi kind of dwarfed everyone's perceptions. Robin, Ribery, we're talking about like legends of the game, right? obviously I feel like they kind of dwarfed things. Then you had a little, I guess, period. Then obviously then the Sadio Mane's, Mohamed Salah. Then we had the MSN at Barcelona. Then we had the Ronaldo and Gareth Bale at Real Madrid. Then every team just decided, okay, we want to play with a free kind of thing. So then that became like a trend within itself. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe because we might do the shift back to just a striker being the one to score your goals, and then the goals can be shared out. So this is where you start looking at players like Florian Wirtz, and you start looking at even there's a Bozza, obviously he's scoring goals anyway this season, but you're looking at these kind of guys and saying, okay, I don't know what other players Liverpool are going to sign, but whoever the left winger is next season, again, you're just going to chip in. We're not expecting any crazy numbers. We're actually really not. What we are just expecting is that our striker's going to get those crazy numbers, whatever that looks like for any team. And then you guys are going to help to supply that. You guys are going to help to facilitate that, moving forward. And maybe our game is going to be more geared towards that. And I'm talking about every team, to be honest. Like I said, other than the outliers, Barcelona obviously got Lamine Yamal, and Lord knows what they do in terms of their striking options for next season. Bayern Munich obviously currently have Olise, they've got Harry Kane, they've got Luis Diaz, they've got Jamal Musiala, they got Carl. They got a couple players in there. Do you get what I'm saying? So other than maybe the outliers, the PSGs and stuff like that, I feel like everybody else is going to have to be. Yeah, I feel like you're going to need to gear your game towards something. So either everybody chips in, or you do have that central guy. But I don't think the wingers now are going to be that important anymore. I just really don't. And I think for Liverpool, I mean, I just showed you names there. Again, there's probably other names that people are talking about. There are some good young players out there. It just depends on what you're kind of looking for in regard to the type of player. Like I said, let me know in the comment section as to what player you're looking for, what player you think Liverpool should go in for. Does the landscape even look appealing to you in regards to the type of player? Obviously, you've got to sign someone. So the reality is we've got to kind of see who's, ready and available. But yeah, I'm just interested to see. Like, it's going to be such an interesting summer for Liverpool because of that whole direction of the football club. And where it, for me, doesn't really look like there is any real sense of direction. You don't really know what's kind of going on, whether it's players, whether it's off the field, on the pitch, it looks completely awful. So going to be really, really interesting. Let me know, as I keep saying, your thoughts in the comment section as to who you want Liverpool to sign. Like I said, give me your top three kind of players, and then we can obviously, just kind of take it from there, man. But listen, hope you guys are all blessed, and I'll catch you guys soon.